Hello and welcome. I'm Jeremy Thompson, Managing Director of Mazda UK, and we're really pleased to be here to give you the opportunity to catch up with our product range and finally feel like things are getting back to some sort of normality. It's been a tough 15 months for all of us, and we've missed getting out and spending time with our colleagues in the media. Sitting behind a laptop screen on back-to-back video calls is no substitute for physical meetings or actually driving a car, and I hope that's all behind us now. We've been busy since we were last able to meet, and in a moment I'll update you on what the future holds. But first, let me introduce you to my boss, Martijn Timbrink, President of Mazda Europe, who will say a few words about how the pandemic has affected Mazda across the globe and in Europe, and our ambitions for the future.
Hello and welcome to our Mazda Regional Drive event. My name is Martijn Timbrink. I'm the President and CEO of Mazda Motor Europe, and I've taken over this position only last month from my predecessor Aoyama-san, who went back to Japan. Many of you will have met me before at press launches or at other occasions, but for those of you who do not know me yet, I am Dutch. I joined Mazda about 20 years ago, and since then I've led various parts of our business, for example as Managing Director of our national sales company in the Netherlands and Belgium, but more recently as Vice President of Sales and Customer Service at Mazda Europe. I'm a car enthusiast and a passionate driver myself, and I believe that working in the automotive world is the best job one could have, and I'm fortunate enough to have spent most of my career with Mazda. What could be better than working for a company that produces truly great cars to drive and at the same time beautiful looking? However, as all of you know, the past 2 years have been challenging for the automotive industry, particularly in Europe, which has been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. In many markets, including the UK, strict lockdowns brought the car market almost to a standstill. Across the globe, we saw our sales and our profits decline in the face of the pandemic and the subsequent lockdowns, and this was also the case in Europe. However, during the last couple of months, I'm really happy to say that we are seeing all these signs of recovery as vaccination efforts are accelerating, not only in Europe but globally, and the restrictions are being lifted. We expect to see our global sales return to 2020 level in this fiscal year, and also that our operating profit will improve by more than 56 billion yen compared to the fiscal year that ended in March 2020. In Europe, over the last year, we saw our sales drop by 32% in the last fiscal year, but we expect our sales to return to pre-pandemic levels in the next 12 months as markets emerge from lockdowns and customers find their way back to our showrooms. We hope that this positive trend will continue, and I'm quite confident that this year will also be a good year for the total automotive industry as well as for us. Mazda is committed to the European region, and the UK has always been a key market for Mazda in Europe, and I'm especially proud of the whole Mazda UK team who've done a fantastic job in keeping the UK business on track during the lockdown, and also stayed in touch with many of you during these difficult times. And it makes me extremely happy to see that whilst I cannot be with you in person, you're able to come together today to meet with our UK team and have the opportunity to catch up on all the recent product changes that we've made to our cars. Looking at the recent numbers and statistics, we see that the car market in the UK is recovering, and I'm happy to say that our forecast from Mazda is better than the industry outlook. But Jeremy is going to take you through the UK performance in just a moment. It's an exciting time for us at Mazda, as we just announced our plans to accelerate the electrification of all our models and make significant changes to our 2030 sustainability vision, aiming to make our global business completely carbon neutral by 2050. To give you some high-level detail on this and some of the changes we've made to our cars over the last 6 months, I will hand you back to Jeremy. I wish you a great event, and I hope you're impressed by the changes we've made to our product lineup, and we really do value your input and your feedback as part of our product development process. I look forward to seeing you soon at one of the future events, and maybe Jeremy will invite me to one of the UK media events. Thank you very much and have a great day.
So that gives you a brief context of how Mazda has performed across the globe. Here in the UK, we're experiencing a pent-up demand for cars, and while we don't expect to catch up all of the lost sales, we do expect to perform very strongly this year as we see great demand across our whole model range. And that's been helped by the actions we took through the last year and a half to protect our core business, the Mazda dealer network, our customers and our business partners. When the pandemic started to have an impact in late March last year, we moved quickly to protect our dealers by introducing regular remote communication methods, generating simple and compelling consumer offers with guaranteed dealer margins, moving to a COVID-secure trading environment, removing cost and protecting new car stock. Since the pandemic struck, we've suffered 0 dealer failures due to financial issues, partly due to the government support mechanisms, but also due to the various support initiatives from Mazda. As a result of those measures, our dealers are able to emerge in a strong and financially secure position to take advantage of the return to more normal trading. To give you an idea of that demand, the SMMT is forecasting a 30% increase in sales year on year. However, like everything at the moment, this comes with COVID caveats, and we expect many bumps in the road ahead and probably some pandemic-related barriers to purchase in the future. Since showrooms were able to open in April, we've had strong consumer demand at Mazda dealerships. In fact, for the 3 months to the end of June, we've seen overall registrations at the same level as they were before COVID in 2019, with retail registrations up an impressive 17%. Looking at how we compare in the industry for the first half of this calendar year, this slide shows the total registrations for the calendar year to date versus the same period in 2020, with larger volume manufacturers to the left and smaller manufacturers to the right. Now, obviously, nearly all manufacturers are showing an increase against last year as the industry adapted to selling cars while showrooms were closed in lockdown 3 versus the complete shutdown in lockdown 1. And as you can see, Mazda is 55% up on last year, and the industry is up 39%. At a retail level, the story is pretty similar. The industry is up 30% for the last half year, and Mazda has seen a 52% increase in retail sales, the 4th biggest year-on-year increase in the industry. So encouraging early signs that our ambitious plans for the year are achievable. One aspect of our business life has changed in the last year, and that's the evolution of relations with mainland Europe through Brexit. Now, this has been a challenge, but we were well prepared for the transition, and just before the Brexit deadline, the UK signed a bilateral free trade agreement with Japan. While the elements mirrored the original economic partnership agreement with Europe, it was still very welcome, and without it, we would have reverted to World Trade Organization tariffs of 10%. Today, all of our production comes from our Japanese factories, and Mazda exports to the UK should be tariff-free from 2025. This will ensure we compete equally and on a level playing field with virtually all the other OEMs, and will be an important milestone for us and for our sales potential in the future. That brings us to today and a good selection of our cars for you to experience. So what do we have for you to drive that's new and perhaps that you've not yet reviewed? Well, the Mazda MX-30, our first all-electric car, is our newest addition to the model lineup, but as we came out to you in March with this model, we decided to focus more on the other updates to our car range. If you'd like to drive the MX-30, then please talk to Martine or Monique, who can quickly arrange a press car for you. Today we have the Mazda CX-30 and Mazda 3, now with the upgraded e-Skyactiv X engines, which deliver increased performance and even more efficiency with the 186 PS and 240 Newton meters of torque. With these performance improvements comes a reduction in CO2 of up to 11 grams per kilometre and up to 2.5 miles per gallon improvement in fuel consumption. This has been achieved by adjusting the compression ratio from 16.3 to 1 to 15 to 1 and updating the Mazda M hybrid software. The iconic MX-5, the most established and best loved nameplate in our range, has been joined by the limited edition Sport Venture. Based on the 1.5 litre 132 PS Sport, the Sport Venture features deep crystal blue mica paint, a grey fabric roof, silver door mirror trims, light stone Napa leather interior, silver roll hoops and 16-inch bright alloy wheels. The 2021 Mazda CX-5, our second best-selling model in the UK, sees the introduction of our flagship 2.5 litre 194 PS Skyactiv G petrol engine. Other highlights of the 2021 Mazda CX-5 include an upgraded infotainment system across the whole range and the introduction of connected services. All models in the range feature a new, larger, faster and clearer 10.25-inch centre display screen, more intuitive Mazda Connect commander operation, and an expanded range of connected services via the new My Mazda app. The introduction of the 2021 Mazda CX-5 Kuro edition adds a unique-looking model to the range. Limited to 750 units, the 165 PS Skyactiv G-powered Kuro edition is offered with a choice of free-of-charge Sol Red Crystal Metallic or Polymetal Grey Metallic paint, matched with 19-inch black alloy wheels and black mirror caps. These are just 4 examples of what we have for you to drive, and we are always keen to hear what you think. Now let me give you a hint of what's to come in the near future and a high-level view of how we're going to tackle the challenges of CO2 reduction with new technology. I can also explain how our vision of the future has evolved over the last 4 years with changes to our 2030 sustainability roadmap. Following our environmental commitment announcement in 2007, we developed internal combustion engines, transmissions, and a common architecture to offer a platform that was scalable across multiple models. Based on this, we've been working on developing a wide range of products, which started with the CX-5 back in 2012. This generation of products has adopted technologies that form the basis for electrification, such as idling start-stop and our regenerative braking system. And in the last 6 years, we've launched 9 models across the globe from this scalable architecture: Mazda 2, Mazda 3, Mazda 6, MX-5, and then CX-3, CX-4, CX-5, CX-8 and CX-9, most of which we offer here in the UK. In a short period of time, we were able to develop systems and production processes that allowed us to build and launch a wide range of different products with reduced investment costs. And since the launch of the new Mazda 3, launched back in 2019, we've been developing the criteria for an all-new generation of cars. The aim for products of this next generation, along with the ongoing development to create the ideal internal combustion engine, is to improve the platforms in line with advancing electrification. In other words, creating an architecture capable of offering multiple solutions. In 2017, we released our Sustainability Zoom Zoom 2030 roadmap, an evolution of the 2007 commitment, setting out our vision for reducing corporate average well-to-wheel CO2 emissions. Our ambition was to reduce CO2 by 50% over 2010 levels by 2030 and by 90% by 2050. Our forecast in 2017 was that battery electric vehicles would make up to 5% of our model lineup by 2035, with the internal combustion engine still the base power unit for 95% of our cars. But we're committed to accelerating CO2 reduction, and we've updated our ambition to reflect the direction of travel globally. Our plan now is to have 25% of our global model lineup as full battery electric vehicles by 2030. The remaining 75% of our models will have some form of electrification on top of a highly efficient base internal combustion engine, and our ambition has changed dramatically from a 90% reduction in CO2 emissions in 2050 as a corporate average well-to-wheel to the Mazda business being carbon neutral in all areas throughout the supply chain, including offices and suppliers, by 2050. These are ambitious objectives. We're not giving up on the internal combustion engine, as this will still power the majority of our cars through the world in 2030. In order to reduce CO2, we have to continue to develop and improve the efficiency of the internal combustion engine as the globe slowly transitions to electrification. We remain committed to creating the ideal combustion engine, and our eSkyactiv X engine technology is evolving to get us closer to that perfect engine in terms of emissions and efficiency. In the future, you will also see some straight-six longitudinal engines join our lineup to ensure that we continue to create the right-sized engines to offer an outstanding driving experience. For the small car group, which includes Mazda 3, CX-30 and MX-30, we'll develop mild hybrids, EVs, hybrids using a rotary engine as a generator, and plug-in hybrids. And for the large product group, with production due to start in 2022, we took into account the regulations in global markets as well as customer needs and have been creating a multi-solution architecture that can support mild hybrid, plug-in hybrid and even straight 4 and straight 6 gasoline and diesel engines. Globally, between 2022 and 2025, we will launch 5 hybrid models, 5 plug-in hybrids and 3 battery electric vehicles from our scalable architecture. Now, I can't give you any details of these models just yet or be specific about which ones will appear in the UK, but it won't be long before we announce the first of these, so stay tuned to our communication channels. As innovators in production, we were the first to build both petrol and diesel engines without having to run separate processes, and we're industry leaders in scalable assembly lines. Now we're developing a dedicated platform for electric vehicles. The SkyActiv EV scalable architecture will be able to build electric vehicles of various sizes and body types on the same production line. These first models off this line will arrive in markets in 2025. Part of our roadmap to carbon neutrality is the research and development of renewable fuels. A synthetic or renewable carbon neutral liquid fuel that can replace the current carbon-based fuel infrastructure is the most efficient way to reduce CO2 from both the legacy fleet of cars on the road today and the internal combustion engines to come. By closing the carbon cycle through renewable fuels, we would be able to decarbonise the transport fleet across the globe quickly and efficiently with little disruption to commerce and people's lives. It would enable those who continue to drive the internal combustion engine to contribute to CO2 reduction without the cost of changing to electric. To progress this ambition, in Japan, we're part of a collaboration of academics, industry and government looking at algae-based renewable fuels. And in Europe, we've joined the E-Fuel Alliance to promote the development and use of fuels made by synthesizing atmospheric carbon and hydrogen to create synthetic petrol and diesel. Moving on to other aspects of technological innovation, in 2017 we committed to developing cars for a society without traffic accidents, and we're now working on a human-centric autonomous driving system, the Mazda co-pilot concept. This will first be available in our large platform products from 2022. Our desire is to retain the joy of driving for our customers and develop cars that are great to drive, but we recognise the safety element of autonomous driving systems, so over time we'll develop the system to monitor the driver's condition at all times. If a sudden change in the driver's condition is detected, such as falling asleep or the driver is otherwise incapacitated, the system switches to autonomous driving, navigating the car to a safe place, stopping the car and placing in an emergency call. So that's it from me today, and I hope that you found this brief update interesting. There's excitement building at Mazda as we slowly lift the covers on our future, and we hope that you'll be part of that journey. I'll be around during the day or for phone interviews at any time and available should you want to chat. Please let one of the PR team know if you'd like to book an interview. Otherwise, I look forward to an informal catch-up during the day and would value your views on our current product and our plans for the future.